And here we go in game 4. Well, when it loads up anyway, which it should do in just a second. We have black screen. There it is. Welcome, guys, to our first match of the day for the All-Star League Round 1, actually. We're going back to the first week of the event now, where Miguel is going to be replacing Tim, and he's going to be replaying his match versus DauT from week 1 of the event. It's a little bit of a step back in time before we go into this week's matches. And we've got Cole Mongo coming in on the co-cast.
Yes, I'm going to just welcome everyone to the channel again, as Zach did. And as Zach said, going back to the step where Miguel is playing, and how surprising, we're playing a map which is called Steeps, so not too far from that.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to have to keep talking a minute while I fix the overlay.
Yeah, no problem. That's absolutely fine.
Okay.
I'm just going to introduce the players. In the green, we have Miguel, and very interesting town center for him. I mean, Steeps is a map pretty much like Nomad. Without any water, you have to build your TC and get your economy going from there. So, very early, very quick town center for him. On the berries, though, not too bad. He'll just have to make a lumber camp and get going from there. Boars are not too far from him either.
Keep going. I'm still fixing this overlay.
And then we have DauT in the blue. I like his town center, actually, because he's got his town center on the base and the goal. And there's this lumber camp. He hasn't put a lumber camp yet. Don't think he needs it at the moment. Yeah, he doesn't feel the need of it. Getting the first ball into the town center nice and early. Very good bowler for him. Both players pretty much scouting with their horses and the llamas, trying to get the information of the map, see where the extra resources are, see how the map has laid out, see if they can find the opponent anywhere near them, and, plan their strategies according to that.
Yeah, okay. So I've fixed the overlay now, and I was just checking the chat. Some people saying your mic is like fading out when you are talking a little bit. It's like you start out normal, and then you sort of fade out a little bit, and then you come back, and then you fade down. I don't know if your mic is automatically adjusting its volume gain or something.
Okay.
Maybe you could check that out, and we can so that you're co-casting from space. It's quite funny. I mean, I can understand exactly what you're saying, but it would be good if we could just figure out it's kind of dipping a little bit.
Yeah, okay, I've changed some settings, so hopefully it should be better.
Yes, that already sounds better, so that's great. So, as you were saying before, DauT's TC looking pretty nice, actually. He's got it on the berries, he's got it on the gold. Although, yes, he won't be able to put many farms around here for now. I don't think that's really going to be his intention anyway. And we just saw DauT actually losing his horse underneath the TC of Miguel. Miguel still has his horse alive and currently scouting across the map to find DauT right now. As I said, both players as the Burmese, mirror civs for game number 1. And so far, just a pretty standard start. Although I've got to say, DauT getting his second ball a lot earlier compared to Miguel.
Yeah, he went for his first ball before making a lumber camp, so that just gave him a head start on that. But I'm not sure how well it will work out. I think it's simply because food is more important, just to get up to the next stage rather than wood. He's got enough wood to make houses and, a mill or something like that just to keep his economy going. But losing his scout but that early on is just going to keep him blind for now. He doesn't know where Miguel's, resources are. He knows where his town center is, of course, but doesn't know where his lumber camp is or gold mine is, so how he's going to plan out his strategy according to that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the overlay right now. I've realized the population in the villager count is a little bit messed up. I won't worry too much, guys. It's only 1 out. Hopefully it's not going to be bugged, but yeah, I apologize for not having the overlay sorted out. I was setting up Niltford's stream last weekend and giving him all the information, and it ended up, well, I messed up my own stream and haven't had time to fix it since I only got back yesterday from being abroad. So anyway, let's see here. DauT dropping down to barracks, Miguel doing the same, and we've got militia coming out for Miguel right now. We're going to see militia from DauT as well, and probably straight into man-at-arms. I mean, the nice thing here for DauT is he doesn't even have to build a mining camp on the gold, that is. He's actually going to go ahead and build a mining camp on the stone, so potentially man-at-arms towers right here. I like that aggression from him.
Yeah, true. I do like that move. It's a very strong play, strong strategy, very difficult to counter, especially if you surprise your opponent. But Miguel should be fine to deal with that. I mean, he's got some stone mines at the back. He just needs to be able to deal with the first tower, and take minimum damage from it, rather than making it difficult for him to defend. Once he is able to do that, he should be able to defend the rest of the resources, and DauT will have to come with a plan B.
Yeah, DauT's going to be the first to feudal here, so he should be able to, well, build the tower first in theory, but he's actually not built it yet. He's kind of delaying things a little bit. These two villagers just kind of idling around, and you can see there's a lot of villagers here from Miguel, so he's probably a little bit scared that if he puts the tower down, Miguel's just going to rush it down with the superior number of vills, and it's not going to work out. So Miguel actually building a defensive tower in front of his gold, he probably did see the villagers from DauT, and he knows that, okay, it's probably going to be a tower on the way, so I better defend my gold now while I still can. And now the men-at-arms are fighting, but Miguel's men-at-arms going down straight away. Wasn't able to take a great fight, but bringing the villagers in will give him the edge, forcing DauT away here, as DauT actually is going to add in more men-at-arms by the looks of things. And of course, that's the nice thing about the Burmese. They do get that +1 attack on their men-at-arms immediately once they hit the feudal age.
Yeah, definitely. That was actually that's the reason why I think DauT didn't attack early on, didn't put the tower down. He was waiting for the man-at-arms upgrade to kick in, but I think it was just tad too late for him. But good fight there for him. Good micro, taking the advantage with the man-at-arms fight. But Miguel's tower is up, and both players are continuing to make some man-at-arms, which is interesting.
I'm personally a big fan of that. I do love like extended man-at-arms play. But yeah, DauT's going to come around the back with his remaining man-at-arms. Like lame some deer, because he can. And I mean, Miguel's built one tower which is going to cover the gold, but his wood at the back is still exposed for now. And he hasn't actually started gathering any stone at all. I also noticed that DauT did move his villagers away from the stone, obviously knowing that his tower rush was going to be well, not a failure necessarily, but he wasn't going to commit to the tower rush. He took the villagers away from the stone and then just sort of fell back a little bit, seeing what he can do with his remaining man-at-arms at the back of Miguel's base.
Yeah, and DauT is just making one tower, defensive tower next to his range, just to cover that area, and then force the action of Miguel, in front of his ranges, or go around taking a big route at the back of his TC, which is not ideal.
Yeah, I do like the way DauT's kind of set up this sort of wall off across the left side. I don't know if that watchtower is really necessary, though. The one on the front next to the range, I mean, he could just wall that rather than building a tower there. And maybe, he could save the tower for later, because other than protecting this stone, I don't really see the purpose of that tower necessarily. I can see, he's gathered the stone. He may as well spend some of it, but even still, I don't know if that tower makes the most sense. At least it'll give him some line of sight, and other than that, I mean, I don't think it's going to really be that important to him. Yeah,
it was. It surprises me as well. So I have no idea what to say about it.
I mean, it's not even. It's not even an area that Miguel's necessarily going to want to pressure. I mean, he could run under there, I guess, and go into the wood line, but he could prevent that with just a simple wall off. He doesn't necessarily need to build a tower. If he was going to build a tower, I mean, I would just wait. I'd just wait a little bit. Maybe If he can't secure his wood line later, it could be valuable to put one up there. But still, right now, DauT on the one range, building a second. Oh no, sorry, it's a blacksmith on the right side, and Miguel on two ranges right now. So we are going to see Miguel taking a bit of an army advantage. We should expect to see that anyway.
Yeah, and what I like that the two players are doing is them going for full-on skirmishers rather than archers, which I think is a good move, especially at Burmese, because Burmese only get one archer upgrade. They only get padded archer upgrades, so don't get anything else. So your archers become really weak later in the stages.
Yeah, Burmese archers are just so bad.
Yeah. But, I think they're worse than Spanish archers.
Yeah, they are. I would assume so anyway, since they don't get the upgrades at all. So right now, I mean, DauT's massively outnumbered with this army. As I said before, Miguel's on two ranges, DauT's on the one, and they're both just, like you say, producing the skirms right now, and DauT having to bring his villagers into fight, but he's going to have to go back with these guys. There's no way they're going to be able to stay in there for much longer without eventually dying, and Miguel's just going to be able to keep taking good fights here. He's got the advantage in numbers, so he may as well keep pushing it, even though DauT's just completed fletching. And, you know, I think that's interesting. He prioritized the blacksmith and fletching before he prioritized the second archery range, and I would definitely say that getting the second range first is definitely going to pay off better in the short term.
Yeah, exactly, because the numbers advantage plays a massive role, as we can see now. I mean, Miguel not having fletching but having the numbers is still doing a maximum damage. DauT had to bring the villagers in, which idled his economy for a bit and didn't do any damage either. So it was a good play by Miguel, and now he's adding some archers just to make sure he doesn't invest too much in food and get ready to go up. So really good fights from Miguel, really well played by him, securing the forward, keeping the pressure on DauT for now.
Yeah, a bit of an AoE fail from Miguel, though, as he ran the archers into DauT's TC. And DauT's just like, yep, just going to take that for free. I'm at 17 minutes and 40 right now, by the way, just so you know where we're at. But Miguel's actually managed to sneak a couple of archers in. I don't know how he did that or where he did that, but they're behind the wood line of DauT right now. And I don't think they'll be able to do that much unless DauT has a weak villager somewhere, but that could definitely be annoying later on. Notice how DauT's doing a pretty big wall off at the moment as well.
Yeah, I think they walked through near the blacksmith when the town center was taking down the other two archers.
All right, okay. So Miguel's going to come in now with these guys. He's got +1 defense as well, so he's actually got tech advantage over DauT at the moment, and he's looking pretty good. But with too many archers in this mix, he's got to be careful because DauT could end up getting the upper hand even with smaller numbers in here, just because he's going to counter the archers so well with his skirms. But I mean, the fact that DauT's actually walling up with stone walls here kind of seems even weirder that he would bother with the tower on the left side, because he's intending to stonewall it anyway.
Yeah, and he's just going super defensive now. So Miguel, I think, is just overcommitting at this stage. He just needs to go back. He's done good damage to DauT early on. Now he's just wasting his army and making it more equal for DauT. So he just needs to go back, mass his army there, and build his economy and get ready to go up, and try to push from there. Because at the moment, there's no way he can get in and do any damage. He'll be just taking head-on fights, and with the archers in the mix, is going to be a disadvantage for him.
DauT's just building a market right now. He's got quite a big surplus of gold at the moment, so maybe he'll buy a little bit of food to get up a little faster here. And yeah, I mean, he didn't need the market. He had his range and blacksmith, but the market's going to be used to kind of redistribute his eco a little bit, get himself to the castle age a little faster. I really disagree with Miguel's like archer choice here. I don't know. I mean, I feel like the scams are going to be so much better in this situation, just because the lack of upgrades for the Burmese archers, and I think Miguel's as well. He's against a brick wall here. It's not going to be easy for him to break through. Or, like, saying that, he could just walk around. There is actually a massive hole on the right side. I don't know if DauT's noticed that. He hasn't scouted it, so there is actually a huge hole in his wall. But he's going to know, because as you can see by his skirmishers, they're actually walking around there now. And maybe DauT's sixth sense is kind of tingling a little bit here, because he's going to meet these archers head on. This is going to be a nice fight for DauT if Miguel doesn't react quickly.
Yeah, that would be a good fight for him. And it's skirms versus archers. It's going to be suicide attempt for those archers.
Oh yeah, that's suicide. Miguel having to run away, losing like everything. There's two left, and that's gonna alert DauT. Okay, there's a hole. I'll wall it up, no problem. So yeah, DauT on the way to the castle age is at 35%. He's got a lot of vills, 5 vills on the stone here. He's also taking a lot of gold. So I'm really expecting to see a monastery coming up from him. Because, I mean, he's just got so many vills on gold. Oh, alternatively, you know, he could do a siege workshop and then a monastery, whatever. But definitely looking towards a castle as well with all these vills on the stone here. What about Miguel, though? Miguel has 3 vills on stone. He's a lot later to click up to the castle age in comparison. Miguel is only just clicking up right now, and he's adding in a stable at the moment.
Yeah, he went on stone quite late, and his wood, he adjusted his lumberjacks quite late as well. They were quite inefficient. They were just bumping into each other for so long, and I wonder why he's going for the stone though. Is he going to go for full-on stone walls? That's the reason he's doing that, or is he going to go for some defensive towers or castle? I would be interested to see, you know, the reason for taking stone and going on stone that late.
Well, with only 3 villagers on the stone, you're not expecting him to be trying to rush a castle. Could be looking to get the walls up. I mean, he's doing a second stable right now. His eco's really heavy on food and I guess not that heavy on gold, but he's got a little bit saved up in the bank. But DauT's already in the castle age at the moment, and DauT's pushing out with these skirms right now. We've actually got a tower coming up in the wood line for Miguel, and DauT comes forward here. Gonna do as much damage as he can before Miguel hits the castle age and starts making knights. And at the same time, I can hear DauT making the siege workshop at home. So I don't know actually. Has DauT seen the stables? He's not. Maybe he's anticipating a lot more ranged units from Miguel. That's why he's made the siege workshop. I actually think that the monastery would have made more sense, given that Miguel's clearly going into knights here.
Yeah, I think Miguel gave it away by throwing the scout out early on.
That's true.
Then now DauT will have enough time to actually put a monastery down and deal with that. But having said that, he's putting a very forward castle in front of his base, securing that extra gold pile in front, and that should give him some more map control. And Miguel will have to play. He needs to go aggressive. He needs to sort his economy out. I think there's no way he can push DauT at the moment, so he will have to just plan his attacks very, very sensibly now.
Yeah, I agree. Right now, as well, I mean, he's got the mangonels, and DauT has the mangonels. He's going to have to be very careful not to throw them away to the knights and probably keep under the castle until he's got the monks out. But I do like this play from DauT, adding the Arambai as well. It's to be like an Arambai monk siege combination. I think that's really, really potent, to be honest with you. I think once you get a decent number of Arambai, maybe like 8 or 9 Arambai, as long as you're close to your enemy, the lack of accuracy isn't going to matter, and they're going to hit really hard. 18 damage per dart that they throw. It's a really high attack damage at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and and the good thing is that the Arambai costs wood and gold, so that's where DauT's heavy on economy. That's where he's concentrating heavily on the economy. So he should be able to sustain production of the Arambais, the monks, and should be able to add some more mangonels if he so desire.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good point, actually, because right now he's getting a second TC up at the back, and he doesn't need many farms at this point because his army isn't costing him anything on the food. So he can just keep a small number of farms up to keep villager production going, and then the rest of the focus is on that wood and on that gold, like you say. Right now, DauT trying to push forward with the mangonels, but the threat of the knights is enough to send him back. Miguel has got bloodlines and +2 defense right now, but then again, you know, DauT's going to add the monks. Oh, actually, never mind. The monk getting sniped there, and those knights coming forward from Miguel. But Miguel's going to lose the knights, I think, here. He might kill both mangonels, though, so probably a worthwhile trade for now, because that's really going to slow down DauT's push.
Yeah, true. It's going to help him. And he had to make DauT go back and start again. You can't let him take the advantage, take the ground control now. And good conversion on the Arambai, taking the mangonels down. So it was an okay trade, I guess.
Yeah,
And the other thing for Burmese is they get cheaper Monk tech, so you can actually get the upgrades on them quite quickly.
yeah, I'm just trying to fix the overlay for the text, actually. I didn't see what text DauT's done already on the monks. I don't think he's done any. I think he's just made the monks at this point. He's sinking a lot of gold into the mangonels and the Arambai, of course. He's done the +1 defense for the Arambai as well. So they're basically fully upgraded right now. I know he does need bloodlines as well, but yeah, the monk techs aren't there at the moment. We've got a monastery out for Miguel as well, and Miguel, I think he's going to struggle for gold at the moment. I mean, his gold on the front is, well, going to be under a lot of pressure from DauT. He's actually going to have to build a TC on the gold at the right side. And so I take that back. He should be fine for gold for the time being. But if this gold at the front does get pressured a lot, then Miguel's going to have to move his eco away down to the south of the map.
Oh, the Arambai is in the base. Well, momentarily. There's a hole between the blacksmith and house of Miguel. He needs to fix that. Otherwise, the Arambai can get in sneakily and pick up some villagers.
Oh, there you go. DauT pushing forward. He's going to take down the tower here at 31 minutes. And DauT going to get the Arambai in there as well, fighting against the knights. The monks are going to be a threat from Miguel, but he doesn't have many out. He's only got one monk. With DauT having the advantage in the monk count, he can just reconvert any units. And this is like a really good push for DauT now. Like, as I said a moment ago, he's pushed Miguel away from the gold. And Miguel's going to need a lot of gold here. I mean, if he wants to make more monks, 100 gold apiece. If he wants to make more knights, you know, he's going to have to get a lot more gold income than this. And he's just 6 villagers on gold right now. Being gold starved in this position is probably the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah, and he's quite heavy on food and food, but he can't go for skirmishes because there are a lot of mangonels out, and then again, skirms, they don't get too many upgrades. So they sort of become, you know, less reliable in this situation. And relying on knights, he needs a lot of gold income, which he didn't switch to. He didn't take the map control at the back of his base so that he doesn't struggle for gold. He kept just 6 there, and that's just costing him. And DauT is coming forward with another castle on Miguel's base.
Yeah, I like that castle, keeping the pressure on the front, allowing him to push forward some more. And I mean, this looks like it's going to be a quick GG for DauT here, as Miguel's going to be under way too much pressure. He has no way to deal with the mangonels, really. I mean, he could run the knights at them, but it is a suicide mission. They will just get converted by the 4 monks behind. They will just get blasted in the face by the Arambai. So, I mean, I'm really concerned about Miguel's position at the moment, as his TC looks like it's going to go down.
Yeah, this is... yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, this is a very deadly combination at the moment. Monks, mangonels, and Arambai to deal with. He wants to engage. Miguel got +2 defense on his knights, but he just can't.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the +2 defense doesn't save you from the monks, and it doesn't even save you from the Arambai right now, because DauT has... what's this? 3, 6, 9, 12, like 15 Arambai here. Oh, they hit really hard. Miguel makes a monk, but it immediately gets sniped. He's trying to build a defensive castle at the back, but this is just going to be a suicide castle. This is going to be a DauT castle right here, as DauT's coming forward, and those villagers are going to get sniped off so quickly, using the mangonel as well. Oh, that's going to hurt. Miguel here, I mean, surely this is GG for him. I don't see how he's going to be able to hold on from this position now.
Yeah, I think instead of making a castle there, if we had made it like behind his ranges, that might have given him some map control on the goal. But this is just poor.
That really was a DauT castle right there, as Miguel calls the GG. And I mean, really just getting overwhelmed by all this military from DauT just flooding in. And I think the big thing for Miguel here is that he had to suicide quite a bit of his army. The knights, he had quite a few knights out, but he had to suicide them basically into the army of DauT so that he could basically prevent the push, because he wasn't prepared for the monks and the siege. And so DauT was able to kill most of Miguel's army, and then after that point, he could just take his time and push forward slowly but surely. Miguel losing ground, and then once he lost the gold, it was basically game over for him.
Yeah, that made that actually made a massive difference. So early in the Dark Age with the town center placement, DauT having a very secured goal, which Miguel was never able to touch. Then a lot of goals from DauT. Miguel switching to archers when he had the military advantage when he was, it was a skirms war that actually pushed him back. And then from there on, his plan was to go knights, but he didn't, again adapt to the situation, didn't put more villages on goal, and then from there on, it was we can see the difference in the gameplay and the military without concentrating on wood, and gold, and making the units which require those resources, and Miguel not doing the same thing. And
Yeah, I think the knights from Miguel ended up being a bit of a failure, to be honest, because they just weren't ever going to be effective against this combination. You never make knights into monks, and especially once DauT, as I said before, gets like 8 or 9 Arambai, he could basically one-shot the knights, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, that was our first game, and it was a pretty strong showing for DauT right there. We're going to be able to go into game 2 very shortly here. Just going to come back out. Our second game is going to be Team Islands. That's going to be the home map of Miguel. And if you're ready, we can go straight into it.
Just getting ready.
Okay, no problem. I think we pretty much stayed in sync there as well. I don't think I got too far ahead of you. That's good.
Okay, I'm ready now.
Okay, I just got to reset the overlay here. So sorry for the rocky start, guys. Obviously, I had to kind of fix the overlay mid-cast, and that kind of, it's kind of distracting, but hopefully it wasn't too much of a problem for you guys. We are going to be able to jump into our second game now as well. Just want to say as well, I forgot to say this before. I apologize. Thank you to Viper for the host as well before we started streaming, or before we started the cast. Appreciate that. And thank you guys for tuning in from over there. But yes, we have our second game, and I'll count us down if you're ready right now.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go. And here we are. Welcome, everyone, to our second game of DauT versus Miguel for the All-Star League. Rewinding back to week 1 here, round 1, as Miguel will be replacing Tim and replaying the games that Tim has already played. So we've got this set first, and then we'll resume with the round 5 set after that. So yeah, Miguel, DauT is currently 1-0 to DauT after a strong showing in game 1. And joining me once again for game number 2 here is Mr. Mongo. You mind if I call you Mr. Mongo?
It's absolutely fine.
And I'll let you introduce the players.
Okay, so in the red we have Miguel, and he's playing as Italians. And in the blue, we have DauT, who is also playing as Italians. So quick look at the maps for the both players. I mean, if I go to Miguel's point of view, he's got a really good goal at the back of his base. Base doesn't make much difference in Team Islands because you have to take water control and stuff. So wood lines are very good for him. Very secure wood line. Nothing at the edge of his water. Something that can be harassed. For DauT, I really like the massive forest in front of his base, though. Very secured, very reliable, and again, goal at the back of his base. Pretty even map generation for 2 players, I would say.
Yeah, I do like DauT's map a little more, but typically speaking, like in Team Islands, it's unusual you're going to have a terrible map gen. Sometimes the deer position could be quite interesting. It looks to me like both players have pretty bad deer. They both kind of spawn behind the wood lines for both players. And also you can get the extra boar as well. You can see that DauT has an additional boar, or 2 boar to the left of his island, but they're also kind of a little bit too far away to really matter. Miguel's extra boar, does he have extra boar? He actually doesn't have any extra boar, but again, that's unlikely to really matter too much. It's not like migration where resources are super sparse. You've got plenty of starting resources to get yourself to the feudal age comfortably. But yes, once again, Italians, no surprises there. Please nerf, and I would love to see it. But I mean, that's the thing with Team Islands. It's probably one of the better water maps just because of how easy it is to pull off a landing. And I've seen so many Team Islands games where it really has come down to the landing that's really won the game, and not so much actually having the water control in the early to mid game. In fact, Tato, who is currently leading this tournament right now, he is kind of renowned for playing a style where he doesn't even care about the water in the feudal age. Almost, it's like, yeah, I'll just give up the water in the feudal age and retake it in castle with fire ships. That's a kind of mentality and something you just don't normally see in AOC, but it seems to really work quite well here in the expansions.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did in the last week's games. But before I go there, I'm just going to point out that Miguel is taking his bow with the scout. In expansions, the bows do a lot of damage to the scouts. And if you notice, Miguel's scout is on 5 HP already.
Very nice.
Just four hits.
Yeah, he's going to get the boar in safely, though. I mean, he kept the scout alive. I think that's the most important thing. He keeps the scout alive. But yes, the boar do it. It's an additional 4 or 6 damage per attack. I think it's 6 damage.
It's 6.
Yeah, extra 6 damage per attack to the scout. So they really are dangerous. But there's quite a big difference between the two players. DauT obviously sending a villager to go and grab the boar, meaning that he's going to be a lot less efficient. Whereas Miguel's going to have that villager working all the time. Instead of walking across, grabbing the boar, pulling it back, he's going to use the scout to do that instead. And I mean, on Team Islands, it's valuable to keep your scout alive, of course. You want to patrol so that you can see or spot any landings that come in. But it's absolutely worth taking the ball with the scout just to enhance that early efficiency. And it's something we're going to see Miguel doing over DauT here. DauT didn't do that at all. Interestingly, though, DauT's throwing up a mill right now on the berries. Miguel's actually started to move more villas over to the wood. And I think this could signal quite a different situation for both players here. Yeah,
and DauT's dock is at the back as well, and he's behind in terms of the fishing ship count. He's bringing the furthermost bow with his scout in, and the way he's doing his house wall is just suggests that he's just going a little bit defensive, but that could be because he doesn't want to get idle. He doesn't want to get housed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite surprising that he's going on berries that early in the game.
So this is the kind of situation where I think that the map generation really needs to improve in this game. DauT has 4 boar, and he's actually going to grab the extra boar from the left side of his island with the scout. He's got 3 boar right now. Miguel only has 2. So I mean, it kind of sucks for Miguel since he's down 2 boar in comparison just because of the map gen. The fact that DauT's going to get the 3rd boar, he's moving over to the berries, he's got the dock at the back. Obviously, it's going to be a very different playstyle from both players. Miguel's really playing that Age of Empires the Conquerors metagame, building the forward docks, getting ready to do a really fast rush. And the sort of the metagame has shifted quite heavily in these expansions, as you can see by DauT's playstyle here, the complete opposite of that.
Yeah, he's just chilling at the back of his base with the dock, getting the extra bows in, and going 3 on gold. And we might just see, I mean, I would be quite happy to see a landing from DauT and taking the game from there. But Miguel's got the forward docks, but he hasn't scouted the island. Normally, you would use one of the fishing ships to see what your opponent is doing. I like the house placements from Miguel, giving him some sort of extra line of sight on the edge of the map to see, to give him an indication of any sort of landing.
Yeah, in this situation, I think it's Miguel that needs to do a landing. I think Miguel needs to recognize quickly that DauT isn't going for feudal aggression, and then he needs to build a transport ship and send some archers across or something and punish DauT for this slower, fast castle strat, which he's going for. He's also, it would also really help if he can find the fish, but DauT's built the dock so far away in the corner of the map. It's going to be a while before Miguel makes it over there. But Miguel's already going to know. I mean, DauT's not feudal yet. That's a huge red flag for Miguel. He's already going to know that DauT's up to no good, basically. And he should already be adapting his strat. You can see already, immediately, throwing down a barracks. Really quick reaction from Miguel to do that. But this is where DauT's map is actually super nice. You mentioned it before, but he's got this really good forward wood. It's going to be super easy for DauT to actually close this and protect his economy from any landing attempt.
Yeah, that's true. And I just noticed that as Miguel's fire, where DauT is building his forward dock,
Mm-hmm.
Miguel's fire ship just sailed past
Oh,
it,
okay.
and he missed that. He missed that,
That's
so he
unfortunate.
doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he could actually deny the dock with the fire ship, even. And DauT doesn't even have loom, so he would actually be able to. Well, he's researching loom now, but he would have actually been able to delay that dock for a long time, or maybe even kill the villager if he'd have seen that. So it's really unfortunate for Miguel, but he is going to find the fish at the back, and he's already taken down one fishing ship now. DauT is going to lose all of his fish, whilst Miguel will be able to keep them alive for the time being. But it's only a small window now until DauT reaches the castle age. He is going up to the castle age right now. He's at 10% already, or 10% right now. And Miguel, meanwhile, going to kill the fish. But is he going to be able to get a landing across? Is he going to be able to do enough eco damage in this time window, in this time frame? Because there's no way that Miguel is going to be able to go to the castle age for some time here.
yeah. DauT is doing a fire galley instead of a transport ship, so I think the landing is delayed. But I wonder what damage this one fire galley can do against what Miguel have. But his fire galleys are all over the water, so, and his fish is quite undefended.
Yeah, I think DauT doesn't need to send the fire galleys out yet. I think he just needs to keep them inside the dock, or at least group them together, wait for the castle age to come in, do the war galley upgrade, get fire ships out, and then obviously take a really big advantage, because fire ships will win against the fire galleys quite comfortably. So DauT at the moment going to try and defend his remaining fishing ships. Not going to be too successful, as Miguel will even suicide to get them by the looks of things. But yeah, the transport ship is out for Miguel, but he's kind of, there's a bit of a communication failure here. The archers are a little bit far away from the transport ship.
That's the funny thing about the Age of Empires. It always happens when you send some of the units there. Four will get into the ship, and the fish will just keep on moving to find the best spot to take the fifth one in.
Meanwhile, on the front, DauT's actually going to get the upper hand versus Miguel's fire ships here, but he is going to be losing all of his fishing ships. Now, if I was Miguel at this point, I'd build a dock on the back, and I'd move my fish to the back of the map as well, because these fish on the front now are going to go down very quickly to DauT's fire galleys. He is researching war galley, he's researching bow saw, and meanwhile, Miguel's going across with the transport ship. You've got to be, in DauT's position, you've got to be aware, or got to be at least thinking that transport ship's going to be on the way. Especially since Miguel has such a big score still. It is a big indicator that he does have military out right now.
Yeah, DauT just, Miguel just lost two demolition rafts to take down just one fire galley of DauT's.
Yeah, I sort of caught that as well. But right now, DauT's going to get the scout going down. And DauT's throwing up a TC in the wood line as quickly as he can. Try to mitigate this damage from these archers. He's going to lose his scout, but will he lose any villagers? At this rate, he's probably going to lose just one villager. One villager going to go down. And then DauT's just going to be able to hop into the TC, and that's it. His economy is now safe again, but he has been pushed away from the gold, and that could be a problem.
And he's adding a defensive siege workshop as well.
Oh yeah, that's coming up at the top. So he's got enough to make one mangonel, but the pressure's kind of on now, because he has to clean up these archers with this one mangonel, which should be absolutely fine to do if he uses a villager to repair, and then he can reclaim his gold. But until he gets his gold back, he's not going to have any more fire ship production, and Miguel's going to get 2 for 1 with the demolition ship right there. So really nice play by Miguel with the demolition ship. He's going to be able to keep his fishing ships alive for now as well, sending them around the back. As I suggested before, he could build a dock back here and continue to fish safely. Meanwhile, DauT is starved from the gold. So I actually think this landing from Miguel has actually paid for itself already. I think this has been effective for Miguel. It's stalling out DauT quite a lot here.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need to kill the villagers. Even if you just harass them and make your opponent guys in the village in TC and keep the economy idle, that really helps as well. So that's exactly what Miguel is doing. He knows he can't do too much damage, but he's just trying to play the hide and seek, harassing villagers here and there. And DauT is very low on gold at the moment. He's not on gold at all because of those 4 archers. He's not feeling confident to actually go forward and take that gold.
Yeah, he actually used his market a bit to sell some resources, I think, so he could make some more fire ships. But if Miguel hits 2, it wasn't a great shot. But I was going to say, if he keeps hitting two ships with 1 demo, or 2 fires with 1 demo, he's going to be able to keep himself competitive on the water for a while. Unfortunately for Miguel, DauT did send a fire ship around the back, though, so Miguel will start losing these fishing ships, whilst DauT is actually rebuilding his fishing ships right now. This is really like cocky from DauT almost, like to rebuild his fish right now when Miguel is actually halfway up to the castle age and DauT only has like 3 fires on the water. Miguel could very quickly retake the water and kill the fish again. So I think DauT may be a little bit greedy with the fish right here. And at the same time, I also question whether he is that greedy, because obviously the Italians' fishing ships only cost 50 wood instead of 75, but still.
Yeah, and I'm just going to go back to one of the points you made in the previous streams about demolition drafts. Miguel at the moment is just making demolition drafts, which is not the best choice, because once the demolition draft is gone down, it's dead. There's nothing else. So he needs to have something else to back them up and keep the pressure up. And at this rate, he's probably going to lose 1 dock.
Yeah, it looks like he will lose this. Well, maybe not actually. He's got a fire galley coming out, but yeah, he's probably going to lose that, I imagine. Miguel probably should consider getting, yeah, he's doing war galley, but maybe another dock on the front here and start ramping up the pressure on the water. DauT just completed gill nets, which is the tech that makes his fishing ships work faster, and he's only got 3 fire ships on the water. In fact, no, I take that back. He's got like 1 fire ship on the water. He's so greedy with these fish, and I really question whether or not he's going to be able to protect them, to be honest with you, as Miguel's going to start outnumbering him on the water pretty quickly. And that's the point. It reminds me, I will update the overlay so that it shows the number of ships on the water as well, because I didn't do that before. So there we go. Much better.
Yeah, and just noticed that DauT had managed to take care of the archers, Miguel's archers in his base with his mangonel. And talking about the resources, I think Miguel's resources are looking much better, much more balanced. His gold economy is really good. He's got a lot of fire galleys there, and he's still able to make some more, adding a 3rd dock in the front. So this is going to be a good move by Miguel. If he can mass up some of the fire galleys, fire ships now, and put some pressure on DauT, then he will be struggling with the for water control. But Miguel was trying to be cheeky there, trying to pick up the fishing ships with demolition ship.
Yeah, I think this is a good play from Miguel. The 3rd dock on the front, as I said before, is definitely what he needs, as he wants to really take the water back. And he is going to punish DauT for, I guess, being greedy with these fishing ships before. He's got 1 demo out, though. This could be a good shot if it gets in between these 3 fires. But nice split from Miguel, really reducing the damage done by DauT there. And DauT's immediately going to lose his fish again. DauT is currently ahead by 10 vills, though. Let's not forget that, he was in the Castle Age a lot faster, and he has already got his 3rd TC up. He's got a lot of extra farms up compared to Miguel, who's only on 2 TCs, has a small number of farms, and Miguel really putting his emphasis or focus on the water right now.
Yeah, and a lot of some more demolition ships are coming out from DauT. He's running away with his fishing ships. If he can get a couple of good hits, he might be able to do some significant damage to those Miguel's navy. 3rd TC is up for DauT. He's going to stabilize his economy a bit more. I like the 3rd TC, giving him, sort of control of the gold, making it more efficient for him rather than the need of making extra mining camps.
Yeah, interestingly, Miguel actually is switching into war galleys right now. He's had enough of the fire ships. He's like, yeah, I'm done with that. I'm going to get the war galleys. But I mean, it's interesting because obviously fire ships don't have range like the galleys do. But DauT doesn't have a very exposed island at all. I mean, the way he's built his economy here, he's not going to be exposed from the water. Even with the additional range of Bodkin or these war galleys, they're not going to be able to hit any villagers by the looks of things. And it looks like the overlay has crashed again. I think they've not sent me the latest version, but that's all good for now. But yes, I don't think that the war galleys are going to be that effective, to be honest with you. He's going to need a lot more of them, and he's going to need to add more fire galleys as well, or fire ships as well, because DauT is 100% committed to fire ships right now, and as we know, they do hard counter those war galleys.
Yeah, a mix of fire ships and war galleys is really important, so that your fire ships provide a meat shield, and then your war galleys can do the damage from behind. Otherwise, they just get shredded from the fire ships. Couple of demo ships coming in from Miguel, taking down the fire ships. Got one alive, but yeah, that's fully on fire ships. It would be a good idea for Miguel to mix up his navy, rather than just going full on war galleys, because that will just give out the upper hand.
Yeah, I mean, until he gets to the critical mass, it's the same with archers and knights. Look at think of the fire ships as knights and think as war galleys as archers. Once you get to a certain point, you can just kind of one-shot the knights, or in this case, one-shot the fire ships. And in that case, the war galleys can come out on top. But until he gets to that critical mass, until he reaches that number, it's going to be really difficult to keep the war galleys alive for long enough. But still, I mean, right now, Miguel's doing a good job, but I'm just concerned because he is falling behind in economy, and DauT will be transitioning to the Imperial Age already. I was going to say he is soon, but I just checked out, and he's already clicked up, so that's really good for him.
Yeah, and he's putting the university down as well. Don't see him on stone yet. He's still going for fire ships, so he's probably going to continue with the water control, do some landing, and then get some units out. I am really rooting for condors in this situation.
Yeah, I think that's the best unit choice for the Italians on water maps just in general, but I think DauT's going to do fast fires first. I think he's going to try and get water control first, then do the landing. But I think, to be honest with you, when you do a landing, it's probably best to do the landing while your opponent still has some navy left, because you don't want to just give it away, and you want to kind of catch them out a little bit by surprise. So I think DauT is definitely looking ahead here. He's definitely looking in a stronger position, as he's still fighting fire ships versus war galleys here, which is good for DauT. But then again, Miguel keeps bringing out those demolition ships at the last second, and Miguel is still actually keeping a really sizable army lead on the water. He's got double the ships compared to DauT right now. Both players having that ship armor upgrade as well, the careening. So they're basically fully upgraded for the Castle Age, and even then, Miguel's still keeping the advantage. War galleys versus fire ships, which is pretty good for him.
Yeah, that's a good play by Miguel there. He, with the war galleys, adding extra docks there, taking good fights and putting pressure on him. But DauT tried to the landing,
this
but Miguel
is huge. Miguel's got the map hacks. He's got his archers right here, and he's gonna get 5 villages for free by the looks of things. Again, another point to make that where war galleys could be really valuable for killing units inland. DauT's going to be able to complete 1 barracks, but Miguel already knows what's going on. The condos are coming out, but DauT is certainly not going to have the element of surprise. Miguel's going to have crossbow completed. The villagers are all dead, and that's exactly what Miguel needs to get himself back into this game. Well, I don't want to say back into this game, but I want to say, equalize things out a little bit in villager count and start to take a real advantage.
Yeah, just to give him keep him alive in the game, give him time to capture with the economy, as you said, and also forcing DauT to come with a plan B, because with just 1 barrack, the condor raid is not going to be that effective. Having said that, he does not have any defense, so if he doesn't take those barracks down, they could get up to a good mass and start doing some serious damage.
Well, to be honest, 1 barracks is probably enough for now. He's already forced Miguel away from 2 gold mines. The condottiero I can't say it. I would say condo. The condos, they do produce pretty quickly. They don't require any real upgrades apart from the defense, which DauT's prioritized here. And they're already in the wood line of Miguel. Miguel's scrambling to build a couple of stables. I think that's a decent choice here compared to building crossbows. Though at the same time, if he was to make more crossbows, he already has got the upgrades for them, whereas if he does things like knights, he's going to have to get upgrades for them, which he doesn't have yet. But still, DauT's damage is certainly going to be reduced compared to if he'd have been able to sneak these barracks. But still, it's definitely going to be quite a bit of damage right now as Miguel is once again forced away from the gold. This is a pretty difficult situation for Miguel right now.
Yeah, even yeah, that's what I said. That even with the one barracks, if he was going to be able to get to a good number, which is like 5, 6 in this situation, then he would be able to do damage. And there's Miguel calling the GG.
Yeah, GG from Miguel. I'm
surprised with that GG.
I thought he'd be able to put up a bit of a stronger defense than that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he had 2 stables. He was making knights. His economy was still looking pretty good. It wasn't absolutely dead, but
I think it's because he'd also lost the water. And I think this is a point to make as well. Going war galley is really risky, because if you go war galley, I feel like you have to get to the Imperial Age first, because you need to get galleon and you need to get bracer before your opponent gets fast fires out, because you might be able to handle fire ships in the Castle Age with war galleys, but as soon as your opponent gets fast fires, they're so quick and they do so much damage that your army of war galleys is just going to melt. So for Miguel to go war galley here, I feel like he actually set the pressure on himself to actually hit the Imperial Age first. And then when he wasn't able to do that, that's when it kind of all falls apart. And Miguel hadn't clicked up to Imperial yet, so by going knights, it's going to delay his Imperial time even more, just to deal with the Condottiero, and then somehow he's going to have to retake water, which is just not going to be possible. He doesn't have the stone to make a castle, for example. I think it was a fair GG, and I think DauT deserves the win for game number 2.
Yeah, and you managed to say Condottiero correctly.
Oh, nice. I wasn't. It's like when I don't try, it comes out right, and when I try and say it, it comes out wrong.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, that water switch was that was game changing, because he didn't have the numbers, and then he had to micro. But at the same time, every time his ships were turning around, 5 ships were doing some damage to the galleys and making them more and more weaker.
Yeah, exactly. It's so difficult. The fast fire ship is such a valuable tech to have. I'm just going to reduce my scroll speed a little bit, guys, just so it's a little bit smoother for you guys on the stream. Some people were saying I was scrolling a little quickly. So that was our second game, and that was a really strong showing from DauT, considering this is Miguel's home map. Our third game will be coming up in just a moment. Let's take a quick look at the achievements here, just so we can see the extent of the damage. Miguel actually had the most units killed, but at the end of the day, it's not about how many you kill, it's what you kill and when you kill it. And
yeah, how effective your fights are. That's what makes a difference.
Yeah, and Miguel's kills were, I think he probably killed a lot of fishing ships, but at the end of the game, when DauT had like 10 Condottiero and 6 fast fires, and Miguel had absolutely nothing to contend with that, like, all those fishing ships don't matter anymore. It's too late at that point. So yeah, it was pretty strong game from DauT, and yeah, nice. All right, I noticed as well DauT actually did collect 2 relics, but really having minimal impact with just 380 relic gold. So our next game, our third game, will be Arabia. That's Miguel's home map. Thank
you mean DauT?
Miguel. Sorry, DauT's home map. I do mean DauT's home map. You're right. Thanks, DauT, for giving us an Arabia. And the question on my mind, and probably on everybody's mind, is what are the civs going to be? Because I think odds are favourite for the Indians to make an appearance here. We'll see.
Yeah, apparently they are the strongest civ at the moment. So I wouldn't be surprised to actually see Indians.
Did you see much Indians last week? Like I said, I haven't actually seen the games.
I saw in Tattoo vs Islam game, but it was Indians versus Ethiopians. So Tato made a point, and he certainly helped me, strengthen my point that Indians are not necessarily the strongest civ if you counter them correctly. Simply because they don't get knights, and also with the camels and stuff, the camels they get imperial camels. They're very strong camels, but again, camels are still going to be camels. They're going to die against archers or pikes. So it's very difficult to have the critical number with the camels and do the damage or have some sort of support for them. And civs like Ethiopians or Italians can easily mass up, cheaper units like halbs and arbalests and counter those.
I actually think the Gabeto is could be a really interesting unit to use versus the camels. But anyway, we should actually load up third game before we talk about the Indians, because there is a high chance the Indians are going to be in play for game 3. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and I'll count us down if you're ready.
I am ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And for everybody on the stream, our third game here in the DauT versus Miguel series, 3-game series for the All-Star League. 2-0 lead for DauT as we go into game number 3. DauT's home map, Arabia. And lo and behold, it's an Indian war. Wow, what do you believe? What do you believe?
No, I'm not surprised. I'm actually not surprised. But it's good. It's good to see Indians war. We'll probably see 2 different kind of gameplays from the 2 different types of players. So we might see a new meta coming into play today. I'm going to... Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I think what you said before this game, though, about Tato consistently... I don't think Tato's chose the Indians once this tournament, yet he's beaten the Indians every single time. And I think it just goes to show it's not necessarily the civ, it's the players and how they handle the civ. And I think, the Indians, they probably aren't the best civ, but they're definitely one of the safest civs. And I say that just because they have so many tools to basically kind of act as a failsafe, They get pushed hard, well, it's no problem. They've got really cheap villages they can reboom, or they can catch up in economy. They've got every counter unit, which they're really effective at using. And so I feel like they're just a safe choice. And then obviously that late game army composition is really strong as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're good to start off with. Villager cost less and, fisherman bonus and all that stuff. But the strength comes in play at the very later stage of the game, and you need to have a civ that, especially on maps like Arabia, where the strength is progressive, so you can transition from one age to the other. Like, for example, Huns, so you can transition from a strong scout rush to cav archers, and then from cav archers to probably heavy cav archers or hussars, or that kind of strategy. It's progressive, but with the Indians, it's not possible because, like you said, there are hard counters for everything that they can throw out. So it's very difficult for Indians to stay in the game for that long.
Yeah.
But once they get to the later game, they become really strong. I mean, the elephant archers are such a beefy unit. Extra range on hand cannons is a strong tech, and they get really strong monks as well. So they can counter most saves in the late game. But I think talk about progression, they might not be a top tier save.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but I mean, they're definitely a favorite with the expert players at the moment, and I think that this tournament will definitely be kind of like a inspiration to make some balance changes as well, which is the nice thing about the expansions, I guess. The devs are active, they are able to make balance changes. AOC has been using the same balance for the last 15 years, but we can actually change the balance now. And after this tournament, I think the devs are definitely going to be open to the idea of maybe making some tweaks here or there. I think Cision even I don't want to say he confirmed it, but he's definitely spoken about it. And I think the Italians and the Indians both need some small changes, nothing major. just to kind of change things up a little bit, because they are definitely a very safe pick. They're a very popular pick. And I guess it goes back to like, okay, go watch AOC. 80% of games, or maybe even more than 80% of games, are Arabia Hun Wars. Now it's like Arabia India Wars. That's the new thing.
Yeah, that's interesting actually, and that just gives it a little extra spice.
Yeah, quite literally, a little bit of extra spice, a little bit of extra heat in your Indian curry, which is what I ate actually right before the stream. I had a Rogan Josh. It was very nice.
Oh, nice. No wonder your stream was your overlay was not setting it up because it was feeling the heat.
Yeah, I was eating curry. What can I say? But yeah, so let's talk about the maps a little bit, because obviously, you know, map is going to have a big influence on how they decide to play. Obviously, the Indians have a preferred play style of kind of stalling until the late game, but if they have a really bad map, a map that is going to be very easily accessible to like forward aggression, for example, then you might want to decide to change that up a little bit. Right now, it looks to be like both maps are I'd say pretty similar, to be honest. Like, both players have just one sort of safe wood line, and then the second wood is quite far away. Both players' golds are quite far from the TC, with Miguel's being forward, which is not as ideal, but quite easy to wall in thanks to the wood line. And then the second gold being quite far away for both players as well.
Yeah, but I think I would give advantage to DauT in this situation, simply because his wood is close to his TC and it's protective rather than exposed, and his goal is at the back as well, which again makes it a little bit more safer than Miguel's, who's got, like you said, a forward goal, but he can actually wall it off with the help of the cliff towards the wood line. He can actually wall it off. And he has already started making some walls with his houses. So the question is he actually gonna complete that? Having said that, I see Miguel going forward with his villagers, and I think if he can pull this off, that could be a really good forward, because both of DauT's stone mines are pretty much at the same spot.
Yeah, exactly. Both the stones are on the right side. I was going to say about the wall, actually, for DauT. He can just wall, you see where he's built the house, the barracks. He can wall down south here, and then between these two tree lines, and he's actually got a completely closed map. So he's got a really easily wallable map. But that isn't going to matter if Miguel is already here and ready to go. DauT dropping down the stable, but Miguel quite smartly here, queuing up 3 spearmen, knowing that the meta game for the Indians is to go with scouts. He hasn't seen the stable, but he knows it. And we're going to see that first tower coming up on the berries. And that's quite a significant tower, actually, because it's going to deny the berries from DauT, who is going to be making scouts, who only has 2 sheep left under the TC. DauT has to defend his berries here. Things get pretty dicey for him.
Yeah, it's true. And also, this tower is going to hit the any incoming units from the barracks or the stables. And also, your first tower is the most important tower.
Yeah, DauT's actually going to get the tower first as well here.
Yeah, because he's got a lot of villagers on stone. I think it's a good play by him, but it's probably going to go down to the tower war and who's going to just keep the tower alive.
Yeah, this is actually... Villager going down for DauT here, but he absolutely has to keep this alive right now. He's bringing in the scouts. He's going to try and take down the villas of Miguel. He's actually doing a really good job of microing this. And actually, I think that's 3 villas that's going to go down for DauT. This third villa's getting very low. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Miguel's going to kill that villager right there. Come on, Miguel.
Yeah, that was...
There you go.
Yeah,
One more. One more.
No, almost.
There
almost.
we go. She's down. And that's 3 villagers for Miguel, right? There are 4 villagers for Miguel as DauT sends down a villager with like 1 health. I can't believe this. And if Miguel just goes back right now, he's already got a huge advantage.
Yeah, he has put a lot of pressure on DauT already. He has made him use his villagers to take the tower down, meaning his economy is not working as efficiently and effectively as it should be.
Okay, I'm disappointed in Miguel now. He had a 4 villager advantage over DauT, and now he's going to throw it away as he's going to lose his remaining villager out here. And now Miguel is behind by 1 vill. I don't think that needed to happen. I think Miguel just needed to okay, I've just killed 4 villagers from DauT. Forget the tower, run back with the vills, and take that advantage. But now he's actually behind by a villager, and DauT's defended, and I feel like DauT now has this huge advantage that Miguel's just basically thrown to him.
Yeah, this is something to note. Like, so when you have you've done sort of a damage to your opponent, you don't really necessarily have to follow up with that. You can just pull back and make the most of the advantage that you have, because in feudal age, having 4 villages advantage is massive, absolutely massive.
So yeah, I mean, obviously Miguel was hoping that, okay, well, if I keep my tower up, I can, or like, I actually don't know why he was still trying to keep the tower up. It was clear that DauT was going to keep his tower up instead, but okay, Miguel's now having to fall back, and I'm a little concerned for his range as well, because DauT could come forward and wall this up. It's pretty exposed. There's no military here, and meanwhile, Miguel's going to wall up the left side and start walling across the right side with stone even. Is that a stone wall? I think he deleted it. Maybe he'll do palisade instead, but yeah, definitely having to fall back here now.
Yeah, I don't feel he necessarily have to wall on the, on the right side. He can just put some buildings down there. Doesn't necessarily have to make like massive walls around there. On the left side, yes, that would be good wall. I mean, give him the map control over there, keep it secured. And on the right side, just some building placements should help him.
Yeah, you're right, actually. He doesn't need to necessarily wall it up completely. But at the same time, I mean, his forward military production buildings are now exposed. And he's probably want to build them back at home as well eventually. Anyway, right now, it looks like, well, Miguel moving over to gold. And I wonder if he's just going to try and go to the castle age here. I mean, that might be a little greedy even. But DauT, meanwhile, he's switched things up a little bit. He's adding in a blacksmith right now. He's not stopped making skirms. He's still got a scout in the stable, and he's going to counterattack. I think this is a good time for DauT to do that, because Miguel is very open, very exposed. And DauT sent his scout in to get some vision as well.
Yeah, that's another thing to, point out. Again, your buildings should always be working, because in this situation, Miguel completely stopped making, military, and now he's behind in terms of military numbers as well. So if DauT will go forward with that army, completely ignoring the buildings, I mean, Miguel does not have anything to defend. He will just have idle villages or some panic walls, which is not going to help the cause.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is why Miguel should have walled down towards the south side. And if he hasn't done that, well, if he doesn't do that in time, that could hurt him. Obviously, with his wood being on the front as well, the nice thing for DauT here is he can come in behind this wood line and kill these villagers. And then Miguel has no other wood line at the moment. He'd have to come down to the south side as well, which is also, DauT could probably just about hit vills from behind this wood line as well. So it's really unsafe, and Miguel hasn't walled up. This is so greedy from Miguel. Like, stopping all military production and then not walling. I don't know what he's thinking at the moment.
Yeah, this is, well, like you said, it is greedy. And there's a hole in the wall between the bags and the house, and Miguel is going to be in a big trouble now.
There's always a hole, guys. There's always a hole.
Yeah.
But, I mean, still, he wasn't walled anyway. He should have been walled here. Like, really should have been walled. He should have even noticed by the score that DauT was probably making military, whereas he was not. And I think Miguel wanted to just, like, get to the castle age here by the looks of things. Right now, DauT's going to kill another couple of vills, and that's a 3-villager advantage for DauT. As he keeps the pressure on, he closes in on the castle age upgrade, slowly but surely. But the big difference is he has military presence at Miguel's base, and he's still killing vills.
Yeah, I mean, Miguel is adding scouts, which is not the best choice in this case, because DauT's got 2 spearmen forward, and he can easily take down those scouts and then continue the harassment with his skirms.
Yeah, this is really hurting to watch for Miguel right now. He's really feeling the pressure. He will be able to click castle in a moment, but Is he really going to be able to do much return damage
Yeah,
with
that's
the
the
two scouts? I don't think he will.
yeah, that's the question. You know, you go up to next stage, but what's your plan from there? I mean, what units is he going to make? His economy is getting hurt. He's getting idle. What unit will he make? One knight? Sorry, he can't make knights. He's Indian.
Camel, yeah.
So one camel or two camels. But then again, spearmen and skirms should be able to take those down.
Well, I think camels are decent in the castle age here because they get the +1 defense for free. But the thing is, Miguel's just calling GG right there anyway. Well, there you go. I was going to say, the thing is, if Miguel adds 1 or 2 camels, first of all, he has to deal with this army that's at his base. So he has to wait to get to the castle age, then he has to wait to train the camel, then he has to kill the army that's at his economy, which he currently isn't able to defend. And then, once he's done that, he can then push out. At that point, DauT will already be in the castle age. DauT will already have his own defense in place, maybe a monk, maybe his own camels, and Miguel would already be behind by 5 or 6 villagers and unable to do the counter attack that he needs to equalize. I think that game was literally lost for Miguel in 2 ways. One, he had a 4 villager advantage and he threw it away with the tower. And 2, he didn't wall his base when he wasn't making any military, and that just allowed DauT to walk straight in and just kill his villas for free.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. There was absolutely no need to try and repair that tower. It was always going down, and it is always risky not to have any military presence in open maps like Arabia, where you can be heard from multiple spots. That's the reason. I mean, that's why Miguel lost the game. I mean, I was really excited with the initial forward from him. I was hoping we will see some intense action of good forward and defense against that, and how DauT is going to take control of the map. But in the end, it was he didn't have to do much hard work.
Yeah, it was good for DauT to defend like he did. Miguel did the damage, but I think, to be honest, that game wasn't won necessarily by DauT. It was won by Miguel being like throwing away his advantages when he did. It was more like Miguel's mistakes rather than DauT's victories, in a sense.
Yeah.
Not to discredit DauT, of course, but still, I think Miguel would have been a lot more competitive with a small couple of changes. Anyway, that was our 3rd game, and DauT will take the series 3-0. Very good series for him. And I don't know if the league table has been updated on the website yet. I will check that real quick. I want to remind you guys, you can go to the EscapeGG website and catch all the action on the All-Stars homepage. Link is in the chat. Although sometimes the website can be a little slow whilst the stream is live, since there's a lot of traffic and all that good stuff. But if you do head over there, you should be able to get more information and be able to keep up to date with what's going on. Thank you very much for coming to cast with me today. I really appreciate that.
It was my pleasure, Zach, and I really enjoyed it. Maybe I wasn't talking too much in the middle, but I think the rhythm was good, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, the games was good, good knowledge, good experience.
Yeah, and I think your chat